In this episode, we will explore the permissions required and your options for attaching and working with files that you might need to bring into Confluence. For example, Microsoft Office files. Confluence can manage files attached centrally within each space or attached to the individual pages. You can also embed files onto pages, making them more prominent or even interactive. We will discuss editing Office documents directly from Confluence and take a quick look at the SharePoint connector for Confluence add-on. We'll also look at two handy macros that will show all of your attachments on one list. Let's jump in. Here we are inside a typical space. Before we begin, I need to make sure I have the correct space permissions for working with attachments. So, first I'll click on the Space Tools button and select the space permissions. Add attachment and delete attachment are the permissions required to allow upload or deletion of attachments. These can be assigned to individuals or groups who have access to this space. Users who have Add Page or Add Blog permissions can upload newer versions of existing attached files, but they cannot upload new attachments unless they also have the Add Attachment permission. My personal permissions in this space give me everything that I need, so let's go back to the Space homepage. I have 3 products listed on my Products and Development page. I'm going to create a separate file list for each of these products. This allows us to manage any attached files from one location. To do this, click on the Create from Template button on the top bar. Highlight the File List option, then click Next. Our first product is called EasyTree, so I'll call this file list EasyTree Files. In the description box, I'll say that this file list is for EasyTree product only, so that my team knows clearly what it contains. The restrictions box allows us to restrict the file list to certain users if we want. I don't need to restrict this file list right now, so I'll leave this blank. The file list will inherit the permissions that are set for the space itself. This can be changed later by simply restricting the page. After we click the Create button, our new file list page, called EasyTree Files, is created. However, if you look in the sidebar, you'll see 2 new pages, not just one. We have the EasyTree Files page that I've just created, but also another page called File Lists. The File Lists page is created automatically for us the first time we create a file list inside a space. The File List page is the central page that organizes all of the file lists that we create for this space. It comes with its own Create File Lists button, top right. So, to quickly create file list pages for our 2 remaining products, I can simply use this button and follow the same steps. And, in no time at all, I now have 3 separate file lists, with names that tell our team members exactly what each one contains. There is one other step I need to carry out. Sometimes, the very first file list that you create inside a space might not be nested correctly under the main file list page in the sidebar. If this happens to you, simply click on the Space Tools button, bottom left, and select Reorder Pages. I can drag the EasyTree Files page so it rests under the main file lists page. This keeps all our separate file lists in one area, although you can place them wherever you want in the sidebar, if you want. To upload files to any of our 3 separate file lists is a simple matter of either browsing for the files or using drag and drop. Full version control is maintained automatically. This means that if I upload a file, then I receive a new updated copy of the same file. For example, an updated spreadsheet when I upload the new copy. As long as the name of the file is the same, Confluence will not overwrite the previous version of the file. Instead, a new version of the file will be created. If we need to go back to an earlier version of the same file later, all previous versions will be stored in Confluence and will be available for us. If you need to restrict access to any of these file lists at a later time, this can be done easily. To do this, just click on the padlock icon on the file list page that you want to restrict. You'll find more information on security in our episode covering space permissions and page restrictions. The other option you have for uploading files is to attach them directly to individual pages. To do this, simply open the page to which you want to attach your file. Click the Page menu button and select Attachments. From the Attachments page, you can browse for your files or simply drag and drop your files onto the page. As you browse through pages, any pages that have attachments will display this paperclip icon next to the security padlock on the top of the page. Click the paperclip to open the attachments page. Just like file lists, all page attachments are version controlled, so if a new version of a file is uploaded to this page, it will not overwrite the existing file, but instead it will be uploaded as a new version. You can also embed files directly onto a page, making it more prominent to anyone actually viewing the page. To do this, edit your page and place your cursor where you want the content to appear. Now, click on Insert More Content, then Insert Files and Images. When I upload this document and publish the page, you can see how prominent the embedded file appears when compared to a standard attachment. This can be useful when you need to make sure that people can find the attached file easily. To upload a new version of this file, just open the Attachments page and upload the new version from there. This will automatically update the version that you have embedded onto the page and maintains your version control. With some file types, for example Office files, you can go one step further and make your uploaded files interactive on the page. I will edit this page again and click Insert More Content, then Other Macros. In the Media section, there are options for displaying Microsoft Office documents and PDF documents interactively. If I select this Word document and click Insert, then Publish the page, we can see that the contents of the attached file is now interactive on our page. This gives you a whole host of new possibilities for presenting your attached file content on your Confluence pages. When it comes to editing files that you have attached to a file list or a page in Confluence, this can be done, depending on your technical setup. For example, you could edit an attached Microsoft Word document by opening it from the Confluence page, editing it in Word, then saving it straight back to Confluence. However, there are some technical requirements that must be met before this will work. To tell if your system is configured for this, it is best to consult the Atlassian Confluence help site for up-to-date guidance and your Confluence site administrator. The last option for working with files is only for organizations who have Confluence installed locally on their own servers and who also use Microsoft SharePoint. The optional add-on called SharePoint Connector for Confluence creates a two-way link between Microsoft SharePoint and Confluence. So, if you have the SharePoint Connector for Confluence installed, you could manage your attached files using SharePoint, but still display them in Confluence, and also place a world-class wiki inside SharePoint. You can find more details on the Atlassian Marketplace. Finally, it can be very useful to see in one place all the files and attachments that are contained either on one single page or inside the entire space. On any page within your space where you want to display a list of attached files, click on the Edit button to edit the page. Place the cursor where you want to insert the list of attachments and click the Insert More Content button. Then, click Other Macros. There are two macros available for listing attachments, either for a single page or for the entire space. The easiest way to find these macros is to search for the word attachment in the search box. The attachment macro will display a list of all attachments on a page, and the Space Attachments macro will list all attachments in the entire space. If you will be attaching a lot of files to your Confluence space, then these reports can be really helpful. And that's us. Enjoy and have fun!